Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 27th of November 2019. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so also before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we update on a daily basis. So I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here. So yep, feel free to visit us here, guys, on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right here. But for now, let's jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to touch on here is the FTSE100. Now, I talked about this one this morning, and basically I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this barrier right here near the 7,441 mark. So you can see that the price is currently balancing just slightly below that. It did have a few attempts to break it already, and it did manage to break it, but the price is still getting pushed back to below this level, below this barrier. This barrier, by the way, is the high of the 27th of September. So we're keeping a close eye on that one. So in a way, if we get a nice daily close today above this, then yep, it increases the chances of a further move higher. Initially, we'll target the 7,477 zone, but then of course there are a bunch of levels to watch here. We'll keep an eye on this one. We'll pick up on this one tomorrow as well. We'll see how everything played out today. But currently, yes, I mean we can see that the bears are trying to fight it back. Again, if it, let's say, stays below this area and closes the day below the 7,441 mark, well, in a way it could have an opportunity here, or should I say the bears could have an opportunity to push this one a little bit lower for some correction, because don't get me wrong, we are quite overstretched here on the shorter time frame to the upside. So in a way, maybe a bit of correction could be possible. So let's see how this is going to play out today. But it's quite an interesting index, and like I said, we'll pick up on this one tomorrow. But for now, guys, again, like I said, keep your eyes on today's close. Let's see where this is going to end. Nasdaq100. Now, I looked at this one yesterday, and basically what I was saying that if we get a further move above the 8,358 zone, then there's a possibility for this one to push further north. We can see that the cash index is currently balancing just slightly above the 8,400 mark. Of course, all this is kind of looking quite positive here for the Nasdaq 100. And in a way, it does have still has a chance to push higher. Maybe initially could do a bit of a correction here, and then maybe a move lower. So that's why, guys, for now, we're gonna keep an eye on this one. This is the idea that we're keeping in mind. So in a way, we may see a bit of correction to the downside, maybe a test of this 8,358 zone. If it continues to trade above this level, this is, by the way, the high of last week, and if it continues to trade above this level, then yes, there could be still a possibility for the bulls to push this one further north. So yep, keep your eyes on this one, guys. Today, yep, we'll have a nice opening gap here to the upside. Currently the cash index is running near the or just should I say slightly above the 8,400 mark. But if this suddenly starts dropping below the 8,358 zone right here, then well, there are some lower levels to consider. For example, the 8,308 zone, or even going further down. And let me just quickly put this one on the chart. going towards this key area of support near the 8,228 mark. So we'll keep an eye on this one, guys. Keep your eyes on today's trading. It could be quite an interesting one. Don't get me wrong. We are quite overstretched here, overstretched to the upside, but we are going into the Christmas rally. So basically, we could see some more upside, but maybe a bit of correction first before another leg of buying. This could be a nice idea as well to consider. But for now, like I said, guys, that's the situation. Currently the cash index is trading just slightly above the 8,400 zone. So let's see if it can continue pushing further north. WTI oil, now something to keep an eye on, guys, as well. So basically we did get some good numbers, by the way. I forgot to mention that we did get some figures from the US. So the core durable goods came out better than expected. The preliminary GDP Q-on-Q for quarter 3 came out better than expected. So basically overall kind of nice numbers from the US. Of course, we are keeping a close eye on the crude oil inventories today, so this is something to keep an eye on later on. And of course, we'll keep an eye on WTI oil and see if it reacts to it or not. So basically the more important level to watch right now is, of course, this barrier, this key barrier of resistance near the 58.70 mark. If we get a push above that, then it could open the path towards slightly higher levels. Now don't get me wrong, overall we're still within this nice rising channel pattern, so in a way it could continue pushing higher. Of course, we are keeping an eye on the possible retracements as well. So but in a way, how we could play this one out for now is just to keep an eye on the 58.70. If we get a push above this level, then yes, we will aim for higher levels, and we will aim for maybe even for the upper bound of the rising channel pattern. But again, let's keep it short and simple for now. Let's keep an eye on the 58.70 mark. In terms of the downside, now with the downside here, a little bit tricky. So initially I had this level here, this key area of support near the 57.80 zone. As you can see, previously it acted as a fantastic area of resistance. It acted somewhat of a support level here, even though we had a break here on the 25th. So on Monday we had a drop lower, but then you can see that yesterday it did respect this level here, the 57.80. So in a way we can keep it on the chart for now. So in a way, if we see a drop below the 57.80 mark, then we will consider a possible slide towards this next potential area of support near the 57.20 mark, which is the low of this week, so the current lowest point of this week. And if it drifts further down, then it could end up testing the lower bound of the rising channel. So for now, this is the idea. These are the levels that we're going to keep an eye on. So let's see how this is going to play out, but be very careful. Like I said, today we are getting some figures here relating to oil markets. So yep, that will be quite interesting to see if it actually can move the commodity in one of the, or should I say, if it can move significantly the WTI oil. So let's keep an eye on that one, guys. AUDNZD. So jumping into a few pairs now very quickly. This is the idea that we've posted here today on our trading view account here on our trading view account, basically. So we've posted here the idea of a possible falling veg pattern. Now, for now, it's not an ideal one. We do have a bit of not a nice, let's say, lower side of the veg, but we'll stick to it for now. And the idea that we've posted here, you can see that the pair was still trading here near the 1.0550. Now it kind of has risen a little bit. Still, for us, the breakout point remains the same, the 1.0564-65 mark. This is what we need in order to consider some higher levels, because for now, as long as it kind of remains within this pattern, we cannot really do anything here. We cannot really talk about the upside. Once we get a break break of the upper side of the falling wedge, and we get a push above the 1.0565 mark, then we will consider a possible move higher. For now, we're just going to continue observing it, and we're just going to keep an eye on some of these key support and resistance levels. In terms of the downside, this is the area to watch. The recent lows here near the 1.0537 mark, roughly around here. If we get a drop below this, then yep, further declines could be possible, because this would confirm a forthcoming lower low. But for now, everything's kind of leaning more towards the upside, especially this pattern, this falling wedge pattern. But again, we need a confirmation break first. GBPJPY, to be honest, not much happening here. I just wanted to kind of show you a quick update on this one. Basically, the same idea remains. We are still in a range, in this wide range, roughly between the 139 mark on the downside and the 141.50 mark on the upside. So these are rough figures. In a way, we need a break through one of those before we could examine a further directional move, at least a short-term one, of course, because for now it's a bit tricky here, and we're waiting for some news, and basically economic data doesn't drive it anymore. It's mainly it's mainly the political news that drives GBP. So for now, yes, let's keep an eye on the headlines that are coming out. And from the technical side, if we get a drop below the 139 mark, this would also place the rate below the 200 EMA here on the 4-hour chart. And then, yep, we could consider a possible slide towards this upside support line taken from the low of the 3rd of September. So basically, let me just quickly put an arrow here. In terms of the upside, yes, we need to see a push above the 141.50 level, 50.51, in order to consider higher levels, because a break above this level right here would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could aim for a further move north. But for now, it's still not there, not close to it. But let's keep an eye on this one, guys. EURCHF, something to keep an eye on, and basically right now, we are keeping a close eye on this pattern here. This is basically, we can see that the pair is coiling up, and it's stuck between these two lines, kind of forming a symmetrical triangle. So in a way, we need to see a clear break through one of these lines before we could examine a further directional move. So for now, a push, if we get a break through the through the downside resistance line here, and a push above the 1.10 mark, then we will aim for further higher levels. If we get a drop through this upside line, and a drop below the 1.0975 mark, roughly around here, then we will consider lower areas. Pretty straightforward here, guys. Not much to invent. Just keep waiting for that confirmation break. And last pair for this session is going to be euro dollar. So I kept talking about this one from Monday, basically, and I was kept talking about this 1.0989 level. So you can see that it is kind of leaning more towards a possible test of this area. This is the level that we're keeping a close eye on, and because, as you can see, previously it acted as a fantastic area of support here back on the 15th of October, on the 14th of November, and in a way we could see maybe a test of that area this week as well, maybe even today. But we're not going to drag this one further down, because I guess, like I said, first we want to see how it's going to perform around this area, because if it's going to get a hold up here, we may see a nice rebound and a push maybe back up here for some correction. But if it starts pushing, let's say further south here, and if we get a nice close of a daily candle below this level, below the 1.0989, then, well, this would confirm a lower low here, and we could start targeting the 1.0966 or even below that. But for now, guys, let's see how this is going to play out, and let's see what it wants to do near this level. If it wants to get a hold up, that's great for the bulls. Maybe we could see a bit of a rebound here, but if it wants to drift further down, if it closes below the 1.0989, then yep, further declines are possible. But again, As I said before, for now we are just targeting this level, and then we're going to take it from there. Okay guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching it till the end. If you want to join me tomorrow morning, as always, in my Traders Espresso, that's 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, I hope you have a beautiful evening, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow at my Traders Espresso at 7 o'clock GMT. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.